Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Club America career mode video. This is episode 12. So we have jumped into the second half of the season. We are into the transfer window market and we are about to go mayhem. And it's going to be pure transfer market video. We're not going to do any gameplay, even though we're going to kick straight right into the clausura. We don't even get a week. To breathe or do any preseason because, of course, we're going to go straight into it. Let me show you guys the short list we kind of left off with last time. There you guys can see Guido Rodriguez is definitely going to be one of our main targets. And yeah, this is people that, I like. Some of you guys have suggested there, Raul Jimenez, big name. Everywhere I see the comments, it says sign Raul Jimenez. So we're going to try to do our best to do so. And here are a couple of players that I'm very interested into bringing in. So there you guys saw more. I can't remember the guy from Boca. This is Aleña from Barcelona. This is Matias Uribe, of course, now with Club America. I know a lot of people want me to sign him, make it a little bit more realistic. Sidney Pesino. Now this guy is very, I think, good and would be wonderful, so we're going to try to bring him in as well. But we're going to start off with our first bid for Guido Rodriguez, of course, the Tijuana man, going on to 6 months only, so we could possibly get him for relatively cheap, but we'll have to see if Tijuana is willing to budge. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to sign him on a pre-contract like I am going to try to sign Sidney. It would have been awesome, but I mean, if we can't do so, we're going to have to, straight up give the cash. And there you guys can see, we're going to offer Sidney something pretty decent. Whether or not he'll accept that, we'll have to wait and see. But I really want this guy. He seems like an overall great center midfielder. He can play in the center midfield, Cam, most likely as well. But yeah, we're going to try to get him on a pre-contract. And here is a player that is hot. I mean, he was on everyone's radar. Cepillo Oribe Peralta, 32 years old, worth 3.275. He was 76. Now here is the question that I was posing to you guys for the longest. He had an absolutely amazing end to the Apertura, of course, but now you gotta think about it. He's 32, gonna turn 33, and he's slowly going to start gravitating towards that lower 70. And if we keep him for even longer, who knows where that's going to be ending up. So, of course, this is not the most long-term career mode because we are going to do this up to the point where FIFA 18 comes out. And then that, of course, will be a whole different story. So, we had we actually had a boatload of teams that wanted Cepillo Oribe Peralta. I mean, a boatload. But there you guys can see Tijuana rejected our offer for Guido Rodriguez. So I said, you know what, I'm throwing another bid. Let me see if they accept this one. I'm going a little bit higher. Of course, it was very low. And I mean, who would sell Guido Rodriguez at that price? No one would. Even if he was at his last month of contract. You don't want to risk it because the player can then eventually end up signing another contract during the season. So you don't want to do that. But I promise you guys a full episode of pure signings and transfer window. So we're gonna sim this game. We're gonna win our first game for the clausura, and it was against Santos, who then went 3-1. No injuries picked up either, so that's also very good. Then Tolisso comes back, says that the 6.5 is a little bit too much, so I said 6.2, excuse me. So I said, okay, give me 6. And it was just a very back and forth game with Oribe. And then here you guys can see again Sidney. We're gonna try to get him on exactly what he wants, the 15. We're gonna give him 4 years. We're gonna give him crucial first team player. Whether or not he's gonna be a crucial first team player, that depends on him and whether or not he's gonna play the role that we want him to play. Whether or not I change formations, that's gonna be a whole different story for next season. But here is the big one. Giovanni Dos Santos, arguably the best player or one of the best players on our squad, and freaking Sunderland wanted to give me 16. It's about 3.5 more than what he's worth actually right now. So I thought, all right, let me set on it. Let me get all these other transfers from Oribe Peralta kind of settled in. There you guys can see Toluca wanted him now. Sporting Gijón want him, and then throughout the video, you guys are gonna see that other clubs are bidding for him. And I thought to myself, okay, if Giovanni Santos, 27 years old, not the youngest player, of course, he's going to turn 28. So I said, okay, if you give me 26 that is more than double of what he's worth. If you give me 26 of that, then he is all yours. So we're going to have to wait and see. And then we get some really good news. Sydney actually accepts the pre-contract. So he will be joining us for the 2008 season to come. So that was actually really exciting. We got our first contract. And then I'm going to show you guys this. I didn't really put it in the video because it kind of seemed pointless to me. We got Carles Aleña. This is one of the players that I was looking forward to. And you know, he's from the Barcelona Academy. He just looked like an all-around great midfielder. But the issue with him was the wages, and he just kind of kept going back and forth. He wanted 35, but then he wanted more, and now it was frustrating. And you know, I thought to myself, well, if this is not gonna be one of those for the long runs situation, then why even bother to do so? And so I just want to show you guys that I, you know, try to go for the Barcelona player. He kind of was a little bit more difficult in the sense that he wasn't expensive, but just with the wages and everything. So here's another thing that happened though a lot. Oriol Peralta broke transfer talks with almost every club that he was that I accepted a bid for, or that they counter offered my bid. Every single team that said that they would buy him, eventually Oriol Peralta turned them down. Now, which is great because that means he wants to play with us. But what's not so great is the fact that his value is going to start depreciating, and we need to get someone better in. And then, if you guys saw right there, Sunderland actually said that they were willing to accept the counteroffer at 26. Wow, that is huge. That means that we could possibly get Raul Jimenez. In theory, we could always just, you know, sell and then buy Raul Jimenez for a little bit cheaper. And of course, you know, we make a profit like that. And of course, everyone's been telling me, sign Raul Jimenez, bring him back to Cuapa. And you know what? We're going to try to do our best if the deal goes through. And the deal has gone through. So the 26 has been paid up for. We're only going to get like 22, I think. Yeah, 22.5. It's fine. It's more than enough. So what we're going to do is, after we get, you know, this whole Oriol Peralta situation situated here, we're going to go and we're going to try to get to go get Raul Jimenez and bring him back to Cuapa before this Querétaro game. So there you guys can see, if there my short list, there he is, Raul Jimenez. You know, he's not worth as much as many people would have imagined. The deal says it actually looks like it's gonna go through. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna offer 12.58, only because I think, you know, if I were to offer the 10.5, Benfica might have said, oh, we want 14, 15, and you know, if I give them a little bit more, they're gonna be like, okay, what's the point of dealing with them? Let's just get him the player. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. So it's our second game of the Clausura, and again, we're not gonna be playing this. We're gonna try to get all our signings situated. So we're gonna sim this game, and it's gonna be a 1-1 draw. So not the best result, of course. We would have loved to play that game and hopefully came out with all 3 points, but unfortunately, we do got to get these whole transfer windows situated. So for the meantime, we're still unbeaten, 2 games, 1 win, 1 draw. Not the worst situation, not the worst way to start things off. So we're going to just kind of advance here, give it a little bit more time. Things have been going pretty well for us. We don't officially have anyone joining the club so far as of yet, although we do have Sydney coming in for the next season, which is absolutely amazing. Hopefully he can be the player we want him to be. And there you guys can see the board's actually saying we're not on track. I guess the win and the draw was not good enough for them. And here, just again, Philadelphia Union was yet another team that wanted a Cepillo Peralta. And then I got a weird transfer offer for Brian Colula. And you know, I kind of just took it. It's not exactly his value, but let's be honest, we're not really going to use him whatsoever. So, you know, in the end, I was kind of happy to let him go. Just a little bit of wages more, but you never know. Every little penny counts, I guess. And then we get a transfer offer for Javier Güemes. There you guys can see he was playing really good for us, but I mean, I think we could do much better. And you know, at 25 to be 70 rated, we need someone a little bit more better, especially coming up in the coming tournaments that we have. But the good news is Benfica say yes to our 12.58, and that does mean that we're one step closer to signing Raul Jimenez back to his boyhood club of America. And there you guys can see Javier Güemes. I counter offered for like 2. But then they told me they wanted to only give me 1.6. So I was like, all right, let's meet halfway at 1.8, which I'm guessing will be, adequate for Chiapas. Let's not forget Chiapas in real life is no longer in the Liga MX, and it's looking like Chiapas might not be no longer in the long run. But in the end, Raul Jimenez declines our offer. So we got to give him a little bit more extra cash. Now, the great thing is about Raul Jimenez is that literally his wages is not a lot. Like, I'd expect it to be a little bit more. So I had no problem with giving him 30. He's actually going to be one of our more lesser paid players. I mean, you guys see how much Jovinko makes, and Marchesín and Silvio Romero. So Raul Jimenez is actually a bargain in the sense of wages. So here you guys can see I'm gonna go for Emre Mor from Borussia Dortmund. I think the kid's absolutely a class talent. Only 19 years old, really relatively cheap, has immense amount of potential, and he's just gonna be a great player that we can either stick into the starting position right away, or he can play back up to Renato Ibarra for a while. But he's absolutely gonna be crucial. And then I'm gonna go in for Rodrigo Bentancur. I'm just trying to solidify that midfield. I feel like, during the Apertura, we had a couple of players play in that position that I wasn't too comfortable, and that I thought we could need a little bit more reinforcement. And there you guys can see right here, and we're also going to go in for Matias Uribe. The player is currently right now with Las Águilas del América, and we're going to try to issue him to come into the Coapa side in our team. So there you guys can see we're starting to move the pieces a little bit more. We are yet to make that first signing, but it's okay because I'm confident that we would get these assorted, and hopefully we can stop simming games. But this is another game we're unfortunately gonna have to sim. We're at home at Necaxa. Our starting 11 there you guys can see right there. Things not going so well. We were winning, now we're drawn. So now it's important to see whether or not we can get all 3 points, and hopefully no one walks away with an injury. And as I say that, look at this result. 3-2, absolutely an amazing game. It looks like every time that we play against Necaxa, whether it's us playing or the computer playing for himself, it looks like to be a really good cracking match. So there you guys can see right there, another transfer talk is broken down for Oribe Peralta, and then we're going to go in with Guido Rodriguez. I really want him in. He's absolutely an amazing player. So I thought, what, if Oribe Peralta is being stubborn in the sense that we can't sell him, let's use him for a trade offer, and hopefully that will then make things a little bit better. But as I was saying, we don't have a first signing. We actually do now, ladies and gentlemen. The first signing for the Clausura is going to be the one, the only, the prodigy son, Raul Alonso Jimenez. Welcome back to Coapa. I know in real life it'd actually be a little bit devastating to see him come back, especially the loads of potential that he has to become such an amazing, great player. But this is FIFA, and we're coming close to the end of FIFA 17, on the horizon for FIFA 18. So we're very excited to be able to welcome Raul Jimenez back into the club, which is absolutely amazing. And there you guys can see right there, Dortmund do accept the offer. So it does mean that we're going to be inching one step closer to getting Matias Uribe into the club. And then another bit of great news, Guido Rodriguez actually, Tijuana do accept the offer, and I thought to myself, okay, well, perfect, let's get Guido Rodriguez into the side. It's going to be absolutely amazing to be able to get him. He's an absolutely amazing player on the ball. We're just going to try to keep him away from any red cards as possible. And there you guys can see Javier Güemes has been sold. And another bit of great news was the fact that Moore actually accepts our contract agreement, and he does come into this side. And welcome aboard. That is 2 signings now, Raul Jimenez, Emre Mor, and what a great addition that we have to this side. We're strengthening much better. Of course, we're starting to lose the fact that we have more foreigners than we do Mexicans, but it's okay. I know I wanted to keep it a bit realistic, but for this case, we're kind of just gonna be on the fuck it side, and we're just gonna absolutely just go have fun with this. We're coming to the end of, like I mentioned, FIFA 17. We're getting closer to FIFA 18. So right now we're just gonna kind of keep it more fun and entertainment in that sense. So there you guys can see right there, we're also going for Matias Uribe, and we're gonna try to wrap everything up in one episode. I'm trying to get it all done for you guys so we can just focus on the football itself. So we're gonna advance a little bit here, and we're gonna go up against Monterrey And there you guys can see another, offer for Cepillo Oribe Peralta. And again, I just kind of rejected it, knowing that the Guido thing was actually going to go through. And there it is. It goes through. He comes 3.2 plus Oribe Peralta. That's actually a really, really good deal with the potential that he has. And then, Matias Uribe and Bentancur, they reject our offer, but then we were able to get a yes from them. And then here comes the tricky part. Who do I get? And, I kind of went back and forth a little bit here with Rodrigo and Matias. And I was like, well, he's younger, better potential. And then I thought to myself, okay, we're not going to be doing this for a whole, year-round thing. So I thought to myself, let's keep it a little bit realistic in the sense. I know someone wanted me to get Matias Uribe. So we're going to get Matias Uribe into the side. We're going to say goodbye to Rodrigo, even though we could afford him technically. But we're not trying to spend all our money on two players that are technically the same. So welcome aboard, Matias Uribe. That makes it 4 signings now in this January transfer window. We're gonna sim this game just one more time. We're gonna try to see if we can get anything else going for us. Another draw for us away. It does mean we still aren't unbeaten. It's a 2 for 2 so far, 2 wins, 2 draws. Not the worst result ever, but and as I was then recording this, I kind of go to my squad and I want to show you guys, what we're dealing with. The back line is going to stay the back line. I think they've showed strong resiliency, and there's no need for me to switch it up. And there you guys can see right there, Guido's going to slide inside with Molina in the midfield. And of course, there you guys can see Jimenez and Romero up top playing alongside each other. And, there's our bench and our reserves. And, I kind of had this kind of intuition that, I need to get maybe another Mexican midfield player, because I feel like we have backups for the wings, we have backups for the defense. I think the 2 areas that we lack kind of a more reinforcement side of everything is the striker position, because we only really have Marin. Although, don't get me wrong, Moore can actually play in the striker position. But I feel like, we're lacking a bit of depth in the striker and a bit in the center midfielder position when it comes down to the Liga side of everything. And just when we have to heavily rotate the squad, I think we need a little bit more oomph up top and in the midfield. Maybe a center back. We'll have to wait and see how I feel about that. But I think so far, it's been good. It's been good. Don't get me wrong. I like how the squad's been playing so far, but I think we just need to add a little bit of more depth into that side right there. So there you go. I mean, William Da Silva's been great for us, but I feel like maybe we should upgrade him to maybe a better Mexican center midfielder. So and Marin, he's been decent. He hasn't lit up the world or anything, but he's been pretty decent. I think once Eduardo Diaz comes back from loan, he's gonna fit in that spot. I really want to use him. I really want to grow him, and I think he'd be a great backup striker. And who knows, maybe we'll switch the formation around so that way we play with 1 striker up top, or we'll tweak it out so that way we can be like, okay, maybe these 2 play. Jimenez and Romero play up top for this game, and maybe we'll switch it off for the Liga or for another tournament. Who knows exactly what we're gonna do so far? I guess I'll kind of get a feel of it once we get into the whole grand scheme of things. But then, like I was saying, I wanted to upgrade William Da Silva, so I thought to myself, let's go for Victor Guzman. Now, this is someone that I used a lot previously in my Querétaro career mode, and this is a player that actually is just all around really good on the ball, and he's just gonna grow a lot more. So I thought to myself, well, he has a potential to be absolutely amazing. William Da Silva's kind of reached his peak and is eventually going to start downgrading, and his value is going to start going down. So I thought to myself, okay, let's get Victor Guzman in. Let's offer William Da Silva plus a little bit of cash, and let's see if Pachuca actually say yes to it. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly whether or not they're going to go for it. But we're going to advance right here in a little bit, get closer to that Tigres game. And would you know it, they accept right away, just like that. Victor Guzman is 1 step closer to becoming an America player. Pachuca accepted, which, kind kind of was odd that they did, but I mean, he's great. He'd be a great addition to us. He's not that expensive in the wages, and he's definitely gonna be pretty cheap come to the end of things. But here you guys can see we're gonna advance just a little bit more to the Tigres game, see if we get anything out of this. And when the screen freezes like that a little bit, it usually means well. There you guys can see right there, Victor Guzman has accepted our offer. We're gonna accept him, and he is another America player. That makes it a total of 6 signings, I believe, if my math is correct. That is Raul Jimenez, Moore, Guido, Guzman, and Uribe. That's actually 4. I am missing. Well, I can't remember if I'm missing any. I doubt I am. But the grand scheme of everything was the fact that I'm happy with this. So we're going to end the video here right now. We're going to start the football next video. But let me know in the comments if you guys like it or not, okay? Well, until next time, guys, take care.